Vicki Hogarth, and welcome to Southwest Magazine. Winter can be a difficult time of year for many people. The days are shorter, routines change, and for some, the weight of isolation or mental health challenges can feel heavier than any other time of year. Today, we're taking time to talk openly about mental health, suicide prevention, and the kinds of community-based efforts that can make a real difference. Joining me for this conversation are Caleigh Dunfield from the St. Andrews Mental Wellness Committee and Gary Brown, the founder of Operation Whiteheart. Together, we'll talk about the work happening here in St. Andrews and beyond, including Applied Suicide Intervention Skills Training, or ASIST, a nationally recognized program that equips everyday people with the skills to recognize when someone may be at risk or how to respond with care and confidence. We'll also explore the meaning behind the white hearts now visible in our community. Simple but powerful symbols meant to spark conversation, awareness, and connection. This is a conversation about prevention, compassion, and community, and about reminding people that they are not alone and that help, understanding, and hope are always within reach. Thank you both for taking the time to come in today and for sitting down on the couch with me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
It's nice to meet you, Gary. Caleigh, you are a familiar face in our community, of course, so I'd love to kick this show off by talking to you first about what is the St. Andrews Mental Wellness Committee?
Yes, so the St. Andrews Mental Wellness Committee is a committee of council that formed in early 2025. So we've been around for about a year, and we're a group of about 7 folks who came together around, I think, a shared value and interest in really looking at what we can do to sort of bolster and support mental wellness in our community, hence the Mental Wellness Committee. And so in some of our earlier meetings, we were talking about, what supports exist, what initiatives might already be taking place. And one of our committee members, Angela Ketch, brought to our attention this amazing initiative called Operation Whiteheart. And so we had a discussion as a committee and thought that that was something we were really interested in seeing in our community of St. Andrews. And so, as I recall, because it's been a year, forgive me, the committee reached out to Terry Acton with Public Works, and Terry was very supportive of this initiative, and Public Works installed a beautiful white heart at Langmaid Park down by the point. But since the installation of that white heart, there have now been at least 2 others. So there's one by Fundy Bay Real Estate, there's one by Salty Towers, and so if you're walking down Water Street towards the point, you're going to pass 3 of them on that walk. And so we're delighted to kind of be a part of that network now, and so grateful to Gary for coming down to chat a little bit about what that is.
I know, I feel like people in the community are, even if they don't know what Operation Whiteheart is, they've likely seen these hearts. I know I was telling you before the camera started rolling, Gary, that the first time I saw a white heart in town, I didn't know what it represented, but I stopped to take a picture because it just gave me a beautiful feeling when you find a rock in the shape of a heart. I do the same thing, but it was beautiful to see this display. Tell us a little bit about, I know you founded this back in 2022. What initially inspired you to start Operation Whiteheart?
So, my inspiration comes from the Maddie Mercer Memorial Fund. My community, they lost their daughter Maddie, and right out of the gates there, they started this Maddie Mercer Memorial Fund there, and it caught on pretty quick, and it exploded. Maddie had a lot of friends, and she had worked different places, and the customer service she had was just unreal, the talent she had. So that's what got me involved, is I started selling these stickers, helped Mike, the Maddie Mercer Memorial Fund, sell these stickers at the refinery. And as I was going around selling stickers to the guys, they'd start telling me a story about maybe they lost somebody, or they thought about it themselves, or so it kind of woke me up and made me realize, hey, this is bigger than I ever knew. Because I up until then I was not really knowledgeable about the subject, right? I just went on my life normally. But then I realized that maybe I can do something to help, get awareness out there and stuff. So after a bit there, I reached out to the pastor at the church in St. John, and I asked him if I could do something on his land. And what it was this big wall there. We painted a mural on the wall, and we put a couple of benches, one for Maddie and one for young Carson Hoyt, and 2 benches for the memorials for them. And at the center of this heart, or park, we put this great big white heart, 17-foot white heart. And we opened the park in September 2021, and that winter I sat around and I thought to myself, you know what? I said, the people were intrigued by that big white heart at the park. They're always saying how beautiful it was. And I thought to myself, well, let's take that big heart, we'll shrink it down and put small ones on people's landscape, residential, commercial, whatever. And when I put it out there on Facebook, it just took off. I had 50 people in the first week that wanted one of these white hearts on their property. So in the spring of 2022, that's when Operation White Heart kicked off, and it just grew and grew. It started in St. John, and went to Quispan, Grand Bay, Sussex, into Heartland, Bathurst, Miramichi, and next spring we're going to be getting into the Moncton area and hopefully Fredericton area. Yeah, so there's the interest is there in how the initiative works. Like you said, you've seen a heart and it got your attention and made you feel good at the moment, and you didn't know what it was for, but that heart still worked on you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I had no idea that this white heart was going to do that to people. I just thought, let's do it, right? And so I get a lot of feedback about how people see the hearts, and they say it made me feel good. You know, I was feeling down, it put a smile on my face, whatever, right? And it got them good in that moment. So once I got going at it, I started charging to do these hearts, because originally I want people to do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
To hear do a heart. But they asked me to come and do it for them, so I set a price on it, and now I got money. So I said, what am I going to do with this money? I said, let's take the money and put it into ASIST training. So my first class, I had 17 people in that training class, and it just, each year I do a couple more, 5 or 6 more. But up to date, we got about 140 people trained in ASIST. And yeah, so that's how it started. Like I say, it took off. I'd been out to Calgary and went out there on a military retreat. Ajax, Ontario, flew me out there to unveil their heart that they made. So it's catching on. It's one in Cuba. People travel.
Wow.
People travel, and they'll do one there, sneak one in there somewhere. One in Dubai, Australia, and I think UK might have one there. So. And each province has one. The only one that doesn't have one yet is Newfoundland, so I'm working on that. I got a fella in Newfoundland working on it. So.
Oh, okay, well, I know Mayor Claude Elliott, Gander former Mayor Claude Elliott of Gander watches this show. He's been on this show, so I have a feeling we can make sure. Yeah. Claude, I'm looking at you. We can get one maybe in Gander just from having this show.
No, cool,
I know when I saw the White Heart here in St. Andrews, I was telling you, Gary, that it did stop me in my tracks. I was having a day where I needed to see a heart. And so I stopped, put my dog in front of it, and I remember I just wrote, "Love is all we need" on the post and posted online, not knowing the connection also between Operation White Heart and ASIST, which also explains the nature of the show. Having you both together here is really important for that reason, because Operation White Heart, again, you said you hope it has a feeling for the people who encounter it, but it also has a deeper role in suicide prevention.
Exactly, yeah. So what happens is, when you saw that heart, let's say you saw that heart there, and the person who owns that land come out and start talking to you. You get that conversation created now, and then you can might open up to each other, maybe not, but you talk about mental health, because you tell them that's what it's for. Now, the White Heart is meant to let you know that you're not alone. It's okay not to be okay. You matter. We care, and creates that conversation.
Very, very beautiful work, Gary, both in the art itself, but in what it does for community and people. Was ASIST a natural fit, and why did you choose that as what you wanted to sponsor with these hearts?
Yes, in 2020, after I got involved, I took the ASIST training through Lisa Cheney here in St. George, actually. And I took 6 people with us. The electricians union paid for 502. And I come down, I took the course, and it really opened my mind up as to how to listen to somebody who's going through. Not only, it teaches you how to save people and can bring them back to a safe place, but it teaches you how to listen, which is, to me, was the most important part, because I didn't know how to listen. I still don't know how to listen. But it's a job. It's something you got to practice, right? But yeah, no, it's ASIST is a big plus for anybody to have it. I mean, if you take your first aid, how often would you use it? 2 or 3 times? I took for like 20-some years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use it twice. ASIST or first aid. ASIST training, I took that in 2020, and I probably used it twice in just 5 years.
Wow.
Right? But it does bring someone back to a safe place, and hopefully you can help them find the resources, and that's where the mental health wellness people come in, where they can find that resource, right? And this community thing is great, I think, this for St. Andrews.
Well, I mean, we're talking about very tough topics today, but I think what's below this topic is the powerful role that community and people can play in making a safer community, a more welcoming community for all of us. What's beautiful about Operation White Heart is it's part of the funding that is propelling this ASIST program here today, but it's also inspired Funding Community Foundation to get involved and to also be a part of funding what's going on today. Caleigh, we've got over 20 people while we are filming this show in our community doing this ASIST training, which just, I think if you're listening at home, that in itself gives you goosebumps in a way to show you how much our community really does want to look out for each other. Tell us a little bit about what they are learning today and who signed up. Not necessarily names, but what types of people have gotten involved.
Absolutely. So I think kind of, again, when we formed the Mental Wellness Committee and when we were kind of thinking about how can we kind of build support and build awareness for mental wellness and mental health in our area, we wanted to be able to do some tangible things and to also have some opportunities for people to get involved. And we ended up writing a grant to the Funding Community Foundation, who very generously funded all of our participants today. And there's over 20. I think we might have 22 at my last count. But to your point, like we have 22 community members for whom this felt really important to take part. And I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm sorry if I'm not going to get the whole list right, but we have folks from both of our local schools. We have folks, I believe there's somebody from social development over there. We have folks from the nursing home, folks from the fire station, ground search and rescue, I think, is represented over there. So it's a very diverse group. And we were really, really fortunate to be able to partner in a very unique way with Anglophone School District South, so that the facilitators that are here with us today are school counseling leads in ASDS, but are also trained ASIST facilitators. So it's just, I think it really represents a very diverse cross-section of our community. And these are folks who, as we're speaking, are over there kind of learning different skills to be able, kind of like what you were saying, right? To be able to intervene if you encounter somebody who is struggling, and to know how to, I think you said it better than I ever could, to be an active listener and to really be able to sit and hold space for someone's feelings. I know that that's kind of a buzzword right now, holding space. But just to kind of not shy away from it. I think sometimes we're sort of compelled to want to, stick a Band-Aid on something and, oh, it's okay, like, it's going to just pick yourself up and dust yourself off. And we kind of use those kind of hallmarky phrases because it can feel uncomfortable for us if we don't know exactly, what to say or what's helpful. And I think what our participants are finding out over there today is that often a huge part of the intervention itself is being able to sit with somebody and say, tell me how you're feeling. And if you're not there yet, I'm going to sit with you. And maybe that's enough for right now. And then to be able to, like Gary mentioned, connect those folks after you've kind of sat and spent some time and made that connection and had some communication, to look at, okay, what's our next step? Because you're not going to walk this path alone now. How can we connect you to some resources? How can we move forward together? So I think ASIST it's applied suicide intervention skills training, and like you mentioned, it's nationally recognized, globally I think recognized. And so, you mentioned goosebumps for me to know that at the end of, it's a 2-day training, so at the end of the day tomorrow, we have over 20 newly qualified folks just in our small area who have that skill set and that motivation.
And it's really beautiful how you both worded to sit and listen and find out how someone is, because I think when we often say, "Hi, how are you?" it's a formality. We're sometimes not even listening for the answer. Or we say reflexively, "Oh, good," but that's not really how we're feeling. When we think about, suicide prevention, or contemplating suicide, are there misconceptions that ASIST and programs like that address? I know, Gary, you said you've been able to use your training from ASIST already a couple times, having just done it less than 5 years ago.
No, it's like you got to watch your words you choose too, right? That's the thing. When you're talking to somebody, especially someone going through grief, right? You got to watch what you say, because a lot of times when you're trying to help them and they tell you something, and you say like, "Oh yeah, I've been through that too," now you just stop them from opening up. You just got to let them talk. And when you do ask them if they're okay and they say, "Yeah, I'm okay," ask them again. "Are you okay, really?" And then they'll open up. They'll start trusting you, because they know that you got that feeling that there's something wrong.
And small communities can pose, I think, a different set of issues too, because as much as we're close-knit and we know each other, sometimes we can fear either burdening a friend with too much information, or fear of that, the gossip cycle in a small community, and we don't want to put it out there what we're going through for fear of being the town news. How has it impacted your life, on a side note? Because I think when you get involved in something like this, I know from my own mental health, whenever I've gotten involved in community initiatives, things that improve other people's lives, it's had this silver lining effect on my own life, where it has made me feel that what I'm doing has value. It gives me purpose, and it weirdly has this powerful drive within you that you don't expect to have this mental health positive, this positive impression on your own life.
You're absolutely right, man. I mean, I never knew that I could take something like this and go with it, and it just happened. And purpose is a big word right there, right? It gave me purpose. Self-gratification sounds kind of selfish, but it just fills my heart doing this stuff, right? And knowing that it's making a difference. Sometimes I doubt myself and I say, "Is it really making a difference?" But then I get feedback, right? And I get calls from more hearts, and it's not stopping. So it is working, and I hear people talking about it all the time, and how some people will actually message me and say, "It saved my life." I had a girl just down from Alberta this winter. I met her. She bought a hoodie. She coming home. She bought a hoodie. She told me that it wasn't so much Operation White Heart, but she got involved with Operation White Heart on the group. But it was a Madam Murphy Memorial Fund that actually reached her when she was going through a hard time, and it just saved her. So so getting feedback like that is important to any organization, right? I kind of got sideswiped there now.
But when we think about, that's what I'm thinking about, the people who might be watching at home right now. You might find that there's some people that might be struggling with their own mental health issues, but there also might be people who are watching this and wanting to get involved, whether it is taking something like an ASIST course. We've got over 20 people in a small town taking that today. It's quite incredible to think of that number. And then when you throw in putting a show like this on the air, we might have more people hearing about it and wanting to get involved. How do people get involved with either Operation White Heart or an ASIST program, Caleigh? I'll start with you, Gary. If people wanted to get involved with either installing a White Heart in their community or volunteering on some level, how do they reach you?
Well, the thing is to get involved with Operation White Heart, all it takes is for you to put a heart on your land. Okay, and there's do-it-yourself videos on my group, which is Operation White Heart 2025. It's a new group now, so you have to go Operation White Heart 2025.
On Facebook, right?
On Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's videos on there for do-it-yourself. It's a plywood thing, staples the heart shape to it, and the plywood stops the weeds from coming off. But if you want to do it yourself, that's the biggest way you can help. Because the more hearts we get out there, the more conversation can start. I always say one heart creates 100 conversations, maybe more, right? So yeah, if you want to get involved, that's the best way. You can you can join the group and invite your friends so they'll know about it, because so many people don't know about it. If you want to call me or message me and ask me to come and make one for you, I charge a fee. So I mean, it starts at $60 for a 2-foot heart, and then it goes up as the hearts get bigger. And I've done them up to 12-foot hearts. So yeah. So, and as far as community goes, I can come into your community and do your hearts, but I would love for a group like this maybe take it on themselves and just start doing the hearts in the community.
Yeah.
Because I can't be everywhere. But that's the idea, is to get people in each community, like, Newsland, I got Butch working over there. Hopefully he's going to do one. Start doing it over there. Take it on as your own. Keep your money for yourself. I don't want money. We don't want money. Okay? It's not about money. It's about getting white hearts out there. Mm-hmm. And if you put one on your lawn, and I don't get no money from it, that's great. I get a heart, right? That's all we want is a heart, because that heart is the most important thing. And as far as the ASIST training goes, that's if we get money from the heart, that's where it goes. I've done other things too, like I sponsored NB Copes. Okay, NB Copes is another person I'd like to mention. They do great things for the community. I've done some sponsoring with them. Christmas, we do Christmas tree decorations, and this year we had 29 families that come. They all come and decorate their own tree for their loved one that they lost. And the important thing about that is that they get to come together and realize that they're not alone. They're not the only ones going through this. And I mentioned 29. Can you imagine the real number, right? Okay, I'll pass it over.
And on that note, Caleigh, when it comes to, having a wellness committee in our town, a mental wellness committee, is for a town of 3,000 people is quite a feat. And for you to be able to make those connections with Operation White Heart, just having that committee in our community is a huge thing. And I'd love to hear from you what some of the goals are going forward, and then how people in the community can follow the work that you're doing.
Yeah, so right now, I believe that the plan is to have sort of like a separate subpage for the Mental Wellness Committee online on the town website, and hopefully a social media presence as well, because we know that people access this information in a variety of ways. But I think, this is so wonderful, and thank you for having us, because one of the things that we are really hoping to do is just let people know that we're here, because part of what we are hoping to do is just start some dialogue and have some conversations and really get to understand and know what community mental wellness means for St. Andrews and for surrounding communities, what people feel that they need, what we feel might be missing, and to generate some opportunities where we can build some connection and hopefully bridge some of those gaps. We did earlier in the year have a movie night where folks from I think it was around Mother's Day actually, and it was a mental health themed movie, and so folks from the community were invited to come out to that and have some conversation afterwards. Our ASIST training today, I think, again, is a great opportunity, and we may seek to do that again in the future. But certainly I would encourage people to keep an eye out, because you mentioned Lisa Cheney, wonderful Lisa Cheney with the Canadian Mental Health Association in St. George. Lisa's often running ASIST trainings. There's opportunities to engage with ASIST on a semi-regular basis, I feel like I want to say, in a small area. The other thing I think is, when we had formed the Mental Wellness Committee and we were sort of getting to know each other and having some conversations, what we realized very quickly actually was that even just within our small group, we, mental wellness, mental illness even, has touched all of us in some way, whether it's like personally or a loved one. And I would say suicide also, like we were having conversations and recognizing that each of us had a connection to suicide as well. And so I think, to Gary's point, beautifully made, it's really about opening up conversation for folks to recognize that they're really not alone, and that, I have worked for many years in mental health with youth specifically, and one of the things that I, to any viewers at home, I share it with youth often, but I would share it with anyone because I think it's true, especially in what feel like pretty extraordinary times that we're living in, that it's not an uncommon feeling, I think, to sort of see how people's lives are curated online and to engage with different sort of media online or in print or whatever and start to feel very overwhelmed, and to feel as though, you're not measuring up somehow, or that you're having to compare, or that you feel like you're behind, or whatever it might be. And I think you mentioned, this time of year in particular can be very, very hard on people. And so as a mental wellness committee, and I think just as a community member, honestly, the hope is that we can sort of be brave and vulnerable and start to have some real conversations with each other. One of our committee members, her name is Heather Heath, she's wonderful. And she introduced some language to our committee that I hadn't heard before, which was compassionate communities. And there's some research done around compassionate communities and what that means. And so we're looking into that a little bit more, but even just kind of like that terminology, I love it. Like, I want to kind of take that to heart, and I would encourage everybody to take that to heart because we're in it together. It's not always an easy path. I think the more you feel connected to your community, the better off we all are. And so that's kind of hopefully some of the work that we're hoping to continue to do, is just build that connection within our community so that our folks, feel that they have that support, and that if somebody's struggling, they know, like Gary said, that, you're never alone. Mm-hmm. Never alone.
What a beautiful way to end the show. And if anyone at home wants to connect with Gary or Caleigh, you can email news@chco.tv, and we'll make sure that they are connected to both the St. Andrews Mental Wellness Committee and Operation White Heart. Thank you both so much for coming in today. And please feel free to come back and join us anytime. If there's any way we can facilitate conversations, if you would like to have some on television, we'd love to be a part of them too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My guests today have been Caleigh Dunfield from the St. Andrews Mental Wellness Committee and Gary Brown, the founder of Operation White Heart. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.